does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Negotiations, right? Politics. And we're out of time. So
Hey, y'all, Gravity. Any day above ground, live it. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your Thursday. So, it's over, huh? How they said it? It's over, Johnny. It's over. And then they tell you, nothing is over. That's what Rambo told Colonel Troutman. We lost. The American people lost, family. We lost all through this. But we knew we were going to lose through this. This is why we prepared y'all way in advance for things of this nature. This is why you guys weren't pissed that the government was shut down. But the set tripping, set banging, whatever you want to call it, it just goes to show you that they hate you. And they've always hated you. MAGA, this is your fault. Because remember, there was a particular senator that said that whoever is in power owns the shutdown. You have to own this. And you've given the Democrats many a talking point to use for next year. But we figured that you're not going to give anybody except the Democrats the loss. Well, both of them are the cause of it. So today we're going to look at the shutdown. We're going to look at what they gave up, both sides, and the ramifications of this, because this will affect your taxes next year. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. But, you know, they don't care about that. They don't care about that. Anyway, good morning to the room. How y'all doing? Before I forget to ask that. Peace to Wallow J, Cosmo Fury, Miss Nisi, everybody else, Baba Rashan, I see you. Let's get into it. So, don't he look tired, family? He look hella tired. They say this is the most hardworking man they've ever seen, and it's 10 o'clock at night and he tired. How you tired? I thought you were this robot. I thought he was the Trumpinator. This is what I was told. He looks like any 80-year-old man. He looks like he's being held hostage. MAGA, go rescue this man. White House down. That's what we're going to call him. White House down. So White House down is being propped up. Weekend at Donnie's. You can also use that as well. Weekend at Donnie's. Look at him. Look at this chick over here smiling like a motherfucker. But let's see what Trump and them was talking about and see him sign this historic document that ended the longest government shutdown in history. Now, where is my meme? Because this is meme worthy today. Let me go get it real fast. No, it's in here. Let me go get it real fast because I want to make sure this meme is here. Here we go.
In the Oval Office, about to reopen officially the government. Let's check in.
Fox News cameras can never stay still. And their mic sucks. Fix the mic. Did they borrow this mic from Jonathan Gonzalez? Oh my God, Fox News is the worst.
Shut down the government of the
There you go.
an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally, from gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our healthcare businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before. Today we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was. They tried to extort, the Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this excursion that they took.
He's blaming the Democrats for a $1.5 trillion loss. Don't you just love it? Isn't that wonderful? So the Republicans had no stake in that. They cost Americans $1. You see this?
Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean
Bullshit.
of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign.
Not a black face in the room. You see that? Not nary a black face in the room. This must be Project 2025.
A continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history, and they did it purely for political reasons. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as well as House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Majority Whip Tom Emmer, and numerous other great Republican leaders and congressmen and senators who are here, and frankly spent a long time in Washington getting this thing to go away. I also want to thank the broad coalition of Americans that stood with us in this fight to reopen government, including the Teamsters, the American Federation of Government Employees, the Fraternal Order of Police, AMVETS, the National Small Business Association, the American Farm Bureau, the American Trucking Association. These are all incredible patriots. Airlines for America, the Allied Pilots Association, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, and many others, unions and non-unions. Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands.
It's funny that he keeps mentioning the SNAP benefits when, if you cared about Americans, you would have put the SNAP benefits back in there and they couldn't say nothing to you. There was a $5 billion provision that you could have signed, but you didn't want to do that because you didn't want to give the Democrats a talking point. Because they would have reversed it on you and said you could have done that anytime you wanted, but you waited till a shutdown to do it. We know what he's doing, family. We know what he's doing. This is for an AI push. This is to help BRICS. This is to help the OCGFC. We know this.
Thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics cause will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this when we come up to midterms and other things. Don't forget what they've done to our country. I also want to call for a termination to the filibuster so that this can never happen again. If we had the filibuster terminated, this would never happen again.
Oh, Lord. And the filibuster would have been gone. Your Epstein files would have been dropped the same day, sir. But consequently, they dropped them already. And we're going to show you something later that shows how bad the Republican base is.
Yeah, we have another date coming up in the not too distant future. We can never let this happen again, and we should be able to pass really great legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because.
Hold up, 5280. Is that when Trump is supposed to expire? Is that why you wrote that? I mean, let us know. I mean, he 80.
By the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't. Today we had the highest stock market price ever in all of the different markets. We set a record. It's the 48th time in the 9 months that I've been in office that we had this record set. So think of that, 48 times we had a record set. But today is the highest of them all. We're going to break new grounds. Nobody would have thought. I have with us not only the great political leaders, but the great business leaders of our country. They're standing right behind me and right really alongside of me. And if we would have told them a year ago that we'd be having stock prices this high, none of them. In fact, I just asked them that question. None of them would have believed it. And that inures to jobs and, very importantly, to 401ks, which have also set a record today. A record high for the people that have 401ks. And also I want to thank Walmart because they came up with a fantastic study. It was the cost of Thanksgiving coming up and the cost of Thanksgiving from a year ago under Sleepy Joe.
He's still telling that lie.
25% lower this year than we were a year ago. And it's a very inclusive report. So I want to
Oh my God, he's still running that lie. Oh my Lord. Sir, there's less product in there. Less fresh vegetables. We went over this yesterday. No wonder it's 25% lower. You're getting less. I tell you, he dumb. And MAGA voted for him because they're dumb. Yes, MAGA, you guys are dumb. You Bush babies, you.
thank Walmart. They've done it for many years, but we believe in that, and we believe in that company. I want to also thank the 8 Senate Democrats who finally did the right thing in voting to end this craziness, this madness, but unfortunately the vast majority of congressional Democrats were happy for millions of Americans to suffer. They really did suffer too. And the Democrats admitted, they said, well, no, we finally have a point. Even though people have to suffer, we finally have a point, and that didn't work out too well for them. But they really went out and they could appease the fringe benefits of their far-left base, but that didn't work out because now their far-left base is angrier than ever before.
Oh my God.
We actually,
Come on, get to the show.
did a mayor of New York City who happens to be
Who fucking cares? Who cares? Sign the fucking bill. Who cares? Jesus Christ. He's gonna go off on a tangent on Mondami. Mondami's a fucking idiot like you, sir. Fucking just sign the bill so we can get people like Mo.J and others paid. Stop with this bloviating. This ain't no MAGA rally. What the fuck? This guy isn't. You know what? Y'all got it.
Is that going to happen? Remember I said all the time during my campaign, we will never be a socialist country, and that's right.
Motherfucker, you are a socialist.
In New York City, and if you look at his views, those are the views of a communist, not a socialist. So this is no way to run a country. I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again. Again, the filibuster, terminate the filibuster. It'll never happen again.
How did that dinner go with all those big CEOs from the banks? How did that go? Let us know.
So with my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again for all Americans. Again, costs are way down, energy is way down, gasoline is at $2.50 a gallon versus $4.70 for the Democrats, and we think we're going to hit pretty close to $2 a gallon. That's like a really massive tax cut.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
And tax cuts, our great big beautiful bill, is giving everybody in our economy, middle income workers, low income, everybody, the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. And it's no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and very importantly, no tax on overtime. You work overtime. That's among the things that add up to the biggest tax cut.
Oh my God.
Rich people with deductions. Well, when you buy your car and you borrow money, you're allowed to now deduct the interest on that loan. So you can take that interest deduction and what you can take is that interest payment and deduct it for income tax purposes. That's a tremendous tax cut right there. But it all includes fixing the health issue the Democrats had with the disaster known as Obamacare.
Here we go.
Obamacare was a disaster from day one.
Mm-hmm.
It's done nothing but go up. And if you remember President Barack Hussein Obama, when he came up with this crazy idea, he said everything's going to be great. Rates are going to go down. Payments are going to go down. Everything's going to go down. It went the exact opposite, with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money.
Arlette Smith, I don't want him impeached, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't need to hear MAGA bitching and that they kicked him out and he can get started. I don't need that. I want him to finish his 4 years so everybody can see how much of a failure he is. And when he flies on his private plane over to Qatar to go be with Jared and Ivanka and make his billions while all our data is being funneled over there, maybe that'll be the day MAGA, as a collective, will realize that for a decade they got duped. Well, by that point, it'll be 13 years. They got duped. All that money, all that cash they gave for those stupid ass hats and the paraphernalia and flying all over and the lawyers for going to January 6th like idiots. Maybe they'll go file claims with their banks and Trump, and maybe they'll bankrupt his ass, which would be high irony because Trump wants to bankrupt every leftist he could. So no, I don't want him impeached. I want his base to turn on him. That's what I want.
This massive amount of money to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care.
You hear him?
Better and far less expensive.
Did you hear what this fool just said? I hope you just realized that what he just said means your taxes are going to go up. I'm going to replay what he just said.
And the disaster known as it's a disaster. It's going to go down. Payments are going to go down. Everything's going to go down. It went the exact opposite with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money, this massive amount of money, to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care, which will be far better and far less expensive than the disaster known as Obamacare. And I've had, I think, great support. I've even had...
So this man is crying about socialism, and he sat right there and just told the American people he wants to do something that is considered socialist. Okay, he just told you he's going to give the American people government money to pay for insurance. That's socialism, you retard. Oh, my Lord. I swear. And you know what? I know he said this because MAGA's not going to pick up on it. They're going to say he's saying something that Obama never thought of. If you don't think this is not a Democrat anymore, you're crazy. Again, he's floating the idea of giving the American people government money to buy insurance. That is a socialist program. That would be considered welfare, retard. And welfare is socialist. I tell you, he dumb. Corporate socialism is going to be the new thing now. Don't you just love it, family? Corporate socialism. Know where you heard the term first. Corporate socialism. Continue, Trump.
And Democrat support. So we want the money that would be going to the insurance company, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. You know, their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases. 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this Obamacare scandal. So I want the money to go directly to you, the people. And negotiate different plans, and you get much better.
The socialist in chief, Asset Ross, said, who is going to pay for that? You should know that. It's going to be this.
Soldier boy, tough. Hey, I got this.
You and me. We're going to pay for all this. Socialism is great, is it not?
Insurance, and you will be an entrepreneur for yourself. So
Tariffs? What tariffs? Oh, Lord, we're going to do this again. The tariffs haven't been working, sir. Dave, it hasn't been working. Why do you think he's not putting out the economic data? It should be very... Listen, let me ask you this, Dave. If the tariffs are really working, why is he not dropping the data? Why is he just the one telling you the numbers? Oops. I could lie and say my channel generates thousands of dollars. Someone's eventually going to call me out and ask me to show them the data. Y'all are falling for this because it's him. Anybody else would have been sitting up there talking about we're getting billions of dollars in tariffs. You would have been asking for spreadsheets. You would have been calling on your congressmen and congresswomen to audit the federal government. But because it's him, you're allowing him to say it and get away with it. Just like he just lied about the gas price. When people have consistently showed that these companies are not doing what they think they're doing. They're actually actively crashing the oil market. But he's not going to admit that. Because y'all are giving him the way to say that it's his policies that are doing it, which they're not. But okay, we're going to let you have it. We're going to let you have it.
I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with healthcare. We can do a lot better, we can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own health care.
Socialism. Hey, baby. Trump just proposed socialism. He said he gonna give folk government money to buy their own insurance. Isn't that welfare? And isn't welfare not socialism? There you go. The socialist in chief. Shout out to you.
Obamacare madness. So with all of that, I just want to tell you that it's never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster.
Oh my God.
They thought it would be good politically, and it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get it working again.
Sign that with that big ass Sharpies that cost $15,000 a piece. That man is signing socialism. Screenshot. Trump just signed socialism. Oh my, hold it up. You hostage. Look at that hostage. And they cheered this. Congress is all about socialism. They were arguing, according to him, they were arguing over giving people health care in the form of tax credits so they wouldn't have to pay so much. That was the sticking point, and nobody in MAGA figured that out. And that's basic logic. They didn't even propose, none of them even proposed an alternative. One side said we wanted, the other side said no, we are at an impasse. Only a couple states say, you know what? We're going to fund it. I think Colorado was one of them. They said they were going to fund it through their own budget for people that needed it. And y'all fell for this. Oh, man, MAGA, y'all not too bright, bro. But I understand. Y'all are descendants of the Bush babies. Most of y'all are Bush babies anyway, but a lot of your parents said Bush was awesome. Now here we are. Look. See, that's that hostage smile. Let everybody know he okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you have questions. I think
I'd have been like, listen, y'all ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. I got to get some sleep. What? What is not Jai? What is that? Sir, I'm more educated than you, Dave. This is why you ran up in here talking about Trump 2036. Anybody that starts out like that, we already know you're not smart. Typo. Okay, so you're not educated enough to realize before you send a message, you should read it over, make sure it's right. Interesting. Then you said money paid directly to the insurance company with our taxes. They already do that. He wants to give them more. And you're going to tell me that's not socialism. He basically, again, just proposed more welfare. He's making the government bigger. I thought Republicans were about limited government. I thought conservatives were about limited government. He's making it bigger. Well, sounds like Trump does not know what he's doing. Again, since you don't want to admit it, he just signed more socialism. He wanted to beat the Democrats at their own game. Well, according to him, the far left Democrats. The regular Democrats, they're somewhat okay.
I think we really have a really great situation. We have a country that we love, and we have a country that's in great shape.
That's called Qatar.
It's over $18 trillion invested in our country by
18 trillion. Do you hear this lie?
That's a record. There's never been a country that had so much, and that money's going into also building new auto plants, new AI plants, new everything. Oh God! Thank
You
you
mean
very
you
much, everybody.
you mean like how you and Kemp had to go over there and kiss South Korea's ass after that raid? Yeah,
Amazon offers hourly employees.
we don't care. Let's check out his base. Let's see how they feel. I'm sure it's going to be Democrat blaming. Let's see. AOC just detonated the House floor. 8 senators are giving themselves over $1 million each while robbing Americans of food assistance and health care. How's that even on the floor? How can Congress enrich itself by stealing from the American people? This is the truth of the shutdown deal. Millions lose care so senators can cash out. I mean, okay. Did you name them? That's what I want to know. Did you name them? What is this? White House says October jobs and inflation data may never be released. Huh? What? I'm pretty sure they didn't say that. But they wouldn't be dumb enough to say that. Oh, wait, she did.
Jobs reports likely. The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released. And all of that economic data released will be permanently impaired, leaving our policymakers at the Fed flying blind at a critical period.
Oh, she did. They did say it. Oh, well, that's crazy. Only in a Republican shutdown, aided by the Democrats, can you have this happen. Okay, Dave, they already took that out. So stop telling that lie about illegals getting health care. Stop telling that lie. They already took it out. Me and my man Mo.J already went over it. So please don't tell that lie. And Mo.J worked for the government, so please don't tell that lie. So give me some more. Give me some more lies that you heard, and you still haven't realized that both sides hate you. Give me some more. Sir Dave, you're still telling lies, okay? Because unlike you, I actually have a solution for the homeless vets. I actually gave it out yesterday. I ain't finna tell you again. You can go and look at the live I did yesterday about that. I mentioned it in there. But again, they already took out that provision. But guess what they put in there, family? Guess what they put in there? And it's beautiful. And it's beautiful. Because they snuck this in there. Now, they say that some senators will be able to sue the government for January 6th. That was stuck in there. And the House Republicans are pissed off at the Senate Republicans because the Senate Republicans were the ones that snuck it in there. But they love you. They love you. Again, Dave, they took it out. That was never going to get funded. That's why now they're doing a vote later on it. And it's not going to get funded. You still don't even understand how the government works. That's fine. You could yell MAGA. Make America gullible again. It's okay. Republicans have voiced outrage that Jack Smith looked at GOP lawmakers' phone records surrounding the January 6th attack. Legislation to reopen the government would allow them to sue for $500,000 each, which you're going to have to pay for, and me. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, Yes, sir, I am the authority because I've actually, unlike you, talked to politicians. I am the authority. I am your boss. That's why you're still here. Because if you ask this question anywhere else, nobody going to answer you. They're going to question how much of a Republican/conservative you are. I'm actually having a conversation with you. You know nothing. You know based on what some influencer you follow told you. They don't go down those rabbit holes. I bet you didn't know that the government is now about to go arrest people for going outside of America to go get their drugs because of this shutdown. I bet you didn't know that. But okay. He read transcripts and you think that's the full story. That's my point. Thank you for proving that to us, Dave. You read transcripts. I do research. We're not the same. But let's get to this article. A spending package is expected to be approved as part of a deal to reopen the government will create a wide legal avenue for senators to sue for as much as $500,000 each when federal investigators search their phone records without notifying them. The provision tucked into a measure to fund the legislative branch appears to immediately allow for 8 GOP senators to sue the government over their phone records being seized in the course of the investigation by Jack Smith, the former special counsel into the riot at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. The provision would make it a violation of the law to not notify a senator if their phone records or other metadata was taken from a service provider like a phone company. There are some exceptions, such as 60-day delays in notification if the senator is considered the target of an investigation. Excuse me. The language of the bill states that any senator whose Senate data or the Senate data of whose Senate office has been acquired, subpoenaed, searched, accessed, or disclosed in violation of this section may bring a civil action against the United States if the violation was committed by an officer, employee, or agent of the United States or any federal department or agency. Because the provision is retroactive to 2022, it will appear to make eligible the 8 lawmakers whose phone records were subpoenaed by investigators for Mr. Smith as he examined efforts by Donald J. Trump to obstruct the results of the 2020 presidential election. Each violation would be worth at least $500,000 in any legal claim according to the bill language. The bill would also sharply limit the way the government could resist such a claim, taking away any government claims of qualified or sovereign immunity to fight a lawsuit over the issue. The Republican senators whose phone records were subpoenaed as part of the investigation were Lindsey Graham, Marsha Blackburn, Bill Haggerty, Josh Hawley, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, Ron Johnson, and Cynthia Loomis. Representative Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania also had his phone records subpoenaed, but would not be eligible because he's a member of the House. Good. You're right, Dave. If they're legally searched, you can sue them. Very good. So that should qualify for every American citizen because the NSA, the CIA, and the FBI monitor all our phone records. So every citizen should be able to sue. Now, do you agree with that? No, I'm not for stop and frisk, retard. I tell you, they dumb. Right. I'm sitting here telling you that both sides hate you, but I'm for stop and frisk, which is a Democrat and Republican talking point and a Democrat and Republican law. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Lord. You just talking. I get it. Mr. Smith requested the phone records of the lawmakers in 2023, but they were not formally told of the subpoenas until earlier this year. Republican lawmakers, including the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Senator Charles E. Grassley of Iowa, have denounced the investigative tactic used against lawmakers, referring to it as inappropriate spying. It is unclear which Republican lawmaker added the language on phone searches to the bill. Mr. Smith, through his lawyers, had denied any wrongdoing, saying it was a legitimate and authorized investigative tactic to understand the actions of Mr. Trump and his inner circle, suggesting it was not meant to scrutinize the actions of the lawmakers themselves. Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, accused Republicans of hiding a provision in the funding bill that would give millions of taxpayer dollars to a handful of Republican senators who helped Trump try to overthrow the government. Mr. White said in a statement that every American should have the right to be told if the government spies on them, but added that this bill takes a reasonable protection against government surveillance. It wraps it in an unacceptable giveaway of your tax dollars to Republican senators. Well, they about to be out. Enjoy my false narrative. Like a female, he got to tell everybody he leaving. Good, Dave. Nobody cares. You lost. All you had to do was ask what I stand for. I would have told you. But you didn't want to do that. You, like the rest of MAGA, love to just fish for shit. It's okay, though. Thank you for exposing how stupid you are. We continue. I thought you were leaving. He wrote LOL. He's leaving. Like a female. Anyway, we continue. Seizing someone's phone records does not mean investigators can listen to conversations or know the contents of the conversation. The phone records, often referred to as metadata, are like phone billing records in that they show what numbers that phone called and received calls from, how long the calls lasted, and often where the calls were made. Wow, he told us what a phone does. That's amazing. It's funny. I just look back on the phone now, and the dude told me he was leaving. And now he had to get blocked so he could leave. You're right, Dave. Your name is perfect. You're not here. You're in some la-la land. It's okay, though. We get it. Good day, Detroit. What happened? Somebody cussed? Oh. Oh, okay. Wow. That's a hell of a picture. Ooh, what is this? Oh yeah, this was the other thing. Yeah, the hemp boys, they pissed. Yeah, the hemp industry is mad because Big Alcohol told them, listen, you gotta defund them. Now, remember, they just said that the October jobs and inflation data may never be released because the private data said they lost 153,000 jobs. So if that's just private, the total data has got to be over 300,000. And that would be insane. Ooh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from your 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation. It's good to
I told you they be over there set tripping on each other. I told you. Damn. I got to play that again.
Thank you, Ms. Bonamici. Ms. Ansari, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from your 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation. It's good to see you, and I hope
I'm going to interrupt you.
The lyrics. They got lyrics. Oh, no. I can't listen. If nothing else, Congress can be funny when they want to be. Oh, no.
I told you, put ass niggas to get off the motherfucking timeline and rap. That's the problem. You niggas be crying. You niggas be bitching. You niggas need to fucking rap. When you could, can't nobody else come up here if they not rapping like that. Stay your punk ass at home.
I need all this. This is how I need my Congress to be acted. We laugh at those foreign parliaments. They be sitting there attacking each other. They be throwing hands. They be having riots. This is what we need. I need this. And they did this at night. So she had this loaded up. This was 11. Look, this was at 11 o'clock at night. They had it loaded. She was ready to go. Give it to me again. Pause.
Thank you, Ms.
And you drinking soda.
Ms. Ansari.
That's probably like $15,000.
Thank you, Madam weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation. It's good to see you, and I hope
I'm going
that
to interrupt you.
Republicans
I'm going
enjoy-
to interrupt you, please. I am sick and tired of hearing you all say we had an 8-week vacation.
That's exactly what happened.
I worked every day.
Hold on, ma'am. How was it an 8-week vacation? Are you counting the 2 weeks before that? Because it's only been 6 weeks since the shutdown. I'm just saying. Well, yes, Nene, the old girl was pissed off because it's past her bedtime. You know she go to bed at 4 o'clock.
About you.
I
don't want
worked
to hear
every single
another
day.
soul
We all
say
worked every
that.
single day.
Oh, she getting after it.
Recognize
Look at the lyrics.
I hope that you all enjoyed yourselves while American families looked at their letters from their health insurance companies, terrified that their insurance premiums were going to double or triple while the House was out of session for 53 days. That is unacceptable, Madam Chair.
Ms. Bonamici, Ms. Ansari, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from your 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation. It's good to see you, and I hope that
Lyrics.
I'm going to interrupt you, please. I am sick and tired of hearing you all say we had an 8-week vacation.
that's exactly.
That's that Don DeMarco, son.
Every day. I don't know about you.
I
don't
worked
want to hear
every single
another-
I told you punk ass niggas to get off the motherfucking timeline and rap. That's the problem. You niggas be crying. You niggas be bitching. You niggas need to fucking rap. When you can't nobody else come up here if they not rapping like that. Stay your punk ass at home.
Rap, son. She said rap. Oh, man. The Grifters talk about release the files. Get some. They not going to release them. Everybody go and get arrested. Everybody. Yeah, but he sent him home for a week. That was back in August. All of the Democrats who called it a Republican shutdown seem pretty mad that 8 Democrats voted to open the government because they got barely any leverage. All they got was messaging. You can switch that around if you're very savvy. They're not getting it. That's okay. No, that's not what it was about. They still don't get it. They wanted to see what the tolerance level of America was. But that's okay. Now they're bringing back Charlie Kirk old tweets. Members of Congress should not be paid during a government shutdown. Sir, you said this in December 23rd, 2018. Who was president then? Never mind. And unfortunately, you can't refute that for reasons. We're going to continue, though. Just a reminder that the day before the government was shut down for 40 days, Thomas Massie was 1 vote short of of forcing the full disclosure of the Epstein files. Don't let these people off the hook. Okay, who cares? Y'all not going to do it. Well, that's good, Red Icy. Your neighbor got their food stamps. That's good. Democrats changed the law in New York so E. Jean Carroll could sue decades later and then use that civil verdict to brand Trump a racist. Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah, because he didn't do it? Okay, so he did. Okay. I tell you. And some white boy cooked this man. It was bad. But, you know. Sir, your takes are horrible. And again, this is the same dude who be going in debates and people present him with information. He talking about something he never heard it before. Okay. All right. Listen, Assad, you tired of the administration. I'm tired of all of them. I'm tired of Congress, too. I'm tired of the Supreme Court, too. That motherfucker right now trying to debate 2A. I'm good. And the Fourth Amendment. I'm about tired of all of them. The government should, okay. If you think it's the Democrats that want to see America fail, y'all haven't been paying attention. But again, these people still. I'm telling you, I guarantee you, 90% of MAGA don't know about BRICS. I guarantee it. And when they find out BRICS exists and they've been controlling Trump, they're gonna lose their mind. The government shutdown is over. We never even got to SNAP beneficiaries eating one another. And it was a complete Democrat surrender. They threw a lot of their leverage against Trump. Yes, they did, but they also got messaging. Again, we know that MAGA and the Republicans and conservatives cannot combat left messaging. We know this. And they got the young spin doctors over there. So we're going to see how much fun it is come Christmas time. So let's see. ADP private sector employment declined 11,250 weekly, underscoring labor market softness and pressuring the U.S. dollar lower. Expectation for the U.S. government shutdown to answer fueled risk appetite, lifting equities and commodities, of course. Fed speeches highlighted AI's economic impact and balance sheet management, reinforcing cautious rate cut pacing. Oof. So for those who don't know what that means, they know that the AI bubble is about to burst and they don't want to lower interest rates too much to the point where when it does burst, that they make no money. Oh, man. So basically, AI controls interest rates now. That's beautiful. Oh, let's talk about that $2 gas that MAGA's sitting up there loving talking about. Because, of course, they don't read. Where is it? It came out yesterday. Where the fuck is the thing? Oh, there it goes. No, wait, was it yesterday or was it this week? No, I think it was this week. Okay. Let's see. Where is it? Since we have to tell MAGA this again, $2 nationally, that's next to an impossibility, DeHaan said. Keep in mind that only happened during his first term at the height of the pandemic, and that it disappeared by the time his first term was complete. DeHaan said the new normal low for gas prices will likely stay in the mid $2 range to low $3 range per gallon. Between inflation, listen, high property taxes, which you now know, you watch MAGA talking about they want to eliminate property taxes. Yeah, good luck with that. Rising property values, and the cost of labor for gas stations, prices below $2 a gallon are unlikely, according to DeHaan. Furthermore, Trump's mantra of drill, baby, drill to increase production so far hasn't made much of an impact on domestic production. Now, these were the same fools who were saying, oh, he should go drill in Alaska. Okay, great. You do realize that doesn't help the rest of the country. That may help the West Coast and maybe a couple states next to it. It's not going to help the eastern side. So where are you going to get the rest of that oil from? Where? If you think Malcolm, if you think Trump saved America from Biden's failures, I have a bridge in China that just fell that I'd like to sell to you. And the fact y'all keep coming in here trying to troll me with that, it's sad. Can y'all get some new talking points? I thought y'all supposed to be the progressives. I thought MAGA was progressive. I thought y'all were the party of the cool people. You have all the ideas. Black America was saved by Trump. Where? Go ahead, explain this. Because I'm a black man. Explain this to us. Go ahead. This should be fun. We continue. Oil production has remained relatively stagnant over the last 10 months or so, with it going up about 50 to 100,000 barrels a day, Dahan said. So policy is not law. President Trump's desire for oil companies does not compel them to produce more crude oil. The wild card that could help gas prices is OPEC increasing production, which they've already cut. We went over that earlier this year, which has been happening on a nearly monthly basis, according to Dahan. Malcolm X was not a Republican, so you've already lied. That's number one. Number two, okay, so what? MLK Jr. was a Republican. He also still went after both parties, especially when he talked about reparations. So how did those two men who were assassinated before Trump ever thought about political office, how did that help Black America? How did Trump say that? How do you make that through line? So you start out with a lie and something that was obvious, but of course y'all love to romanticize MLK. Continue though. Here's where gas prices could stand county by county across West Michigan as of 7 a.m. Tuesday, November 11th, according to Gas Buddy. $3. Over $3, but okay. Where's this $2? Because Trump really thinks he controls OPEC. Trump's oil price sweet spot is no man's land for everyone else. Look, this range could extend an oversupply for longer. Oversupply with a low demand. What do you think is going to happen? Trump Malcolm, since you wanted to come in here and talk about how this is supposed to save Black America, because this is a Trump policy. Tell me what happens when you have too much supply and not enough demand. Oil prices have oscillated in a relatively narrow range of $60 to $70 a barrel in recent months, reflecting both warnings over rising oil supplies as well as concerns about trade wars and geopolitical conflicts. While this may be a sweet spot for U.S. President Donald Trump, it's a no man's land for oil producers. Crude prices hit the low end of this range in mid-October, enabling Trump on October 22nd to follow through on his threat to slap severe sanctions on Russia's two oil giants, Lukoil and Rosneft, which account for around 5% of global output. So you're going to make them more money. Cool. Trump likely calculated that the escalation of the economic warfare on Moscow would not lead to severe disruption and price spikes as the oil market is today oversupplied. Oversupplied. Did we not go over yesterday how over the summer nobody traveled? Did we not go over months ago that the airline industry was slashing prices across the board because nobody was traveling? Same thing with the cruise lines. They were giving away 7-day trips for what you would pay for a weekend. And these were far destinations because they needed people on the boat. Fine, since y'all love social media so much, and this is technically also cruise season, well, near the tail end of it. Haven't y'all noticed you haven't seen a lot of cruise videos lately, the last few months? I'm just saying. People take cruises during the holiday, especially Christmas. They like to go to the tropical islands. With Jamaica out of commission for a little bit, there's not going to be a lot of people traveling to Jamaica. So that's less seats on your JetBlues, your Deltas, your Caribbean Airlines. Couple that with the fact that you have a 10% reduction at airports in flights. Yeah. But all right. At the same time, with prices in the current range, the United States status as the world's top oil producer remains unchallenged. The U.S. Energy Information Administration in October boosted its forecast for 2025 production by 100,000 barrels per day to 13.5 million barrels per day, which while also increasing next year's output forecast, because they think that next year the economy is suddenly going to turn around. Okay. Is the U.S. president right to be optimistic that prices will remain range-bound? It depends on who you ask. The International Energy Agency is forecasting a huge oversupply of 4 million barrels per day next year, nearly 4% of global demand, which could crush prices, forcing many producers to scale back output dramatically. And again, months ago, we showed you the articles where the top 4 energy companies in the gas sector said that they're going to scale back doing oil production because it's not worth it. It's not cost effective for them. They'd rather go into the green sector. But y'all bypass that because you think Trump has this magical hold on these corporations when we've already proven to you that these corporations are bigger than the government. But we continue. But the world's energy leaders do not seem overly worried. At an industry gathering in Abu Dhabi last week, heads of oil trading houses predicted that Brent oil prices would stay within the 60-70 range next year, with some suggesting that the feared oversupply may not be as large as the IEA predicts. That is partly because of disagreements about demand. While the IEA expects consumption to grow by 700,000 barrels per day this year, OPEC analysts peg growth at nearly double that rate at 1.3 million barrels per day. China's huge stockpiling this year, for which Beijing does not provide any data, has further confused the demand picture. Meanwhile, lower visibility into a large portion of the oil market due to expanded use of sanctions busting tankers to transport Russian, Iranian, and Venezuelan oil has also blurred the assessment of supply. The OPEC Plus alliance is clearly hedging its bets. It called last week for a modest increase in its production target in December of 137,000 BPD, followed by a pause through the first quarter of next year. Oh, man. Yes, exactly. It said they had tickets during the pandemic to go on flights for $40 from New York to go to the South. $40. Matter of fact, let me see what the airline prices look like right now. Put winter on ice. Look at this. Do you see this? Put winter on ice. Shit. And this is during the cold months. This is when they jack the prices up. Look at this. You could go to Fort Lauderdale outside Miami for $64 one way. Look, Passport Bros. They go $161. So about $400 to go to Santo Domingo. That's crazy. You leave from Long Island, you go for $66. Look at this. You would go transnational for $100. Baby. She can't hear me. You go from California to Florida for $100. Let me see how much it is at Christmas. Let me just see. I know Christmas probably gonna jump. I'm pretty sure. I just want to see what they charge it. Okay, so it's Christmas. That's when they jack it up. Okay. So now it's saying $600. Okay. But that's insane. If you leave December 8th, you could go to Florida for $100. I'm guessing that's Kingston, New York. Oh, Jamaica to Florida, Lauderdale is $200. But all right. Go ahead and tell me that the economy doing well. Go ahead. You bastards, you. $100. That's great. And people can't fly for $100. Let's see who's making money. BlackRock making money. I might buy this. It's only $2. Shit. I got birthday money. I might buy some of that. Oh, GDS, you are flying at the loss, and that pilot might be drunk. So you might be screwed. Now watch this. Somebody said that Daniel Penny choked out Jordan Neely. Good. Now watch this. Now I know the cops gonna come for me after I say this. Good. We'll say it like this. I'm going to show them how fucked up their logic is. Anyway. You're damn right I'm starting trouble. I tell you them if you really gonna sit up there and try to justify what Daniel Penny did, but you claim you law and order, something's wrong with you. And like I also said something else, he also had to do a humiliation ritual after that where he had to go to that fashion show and put on that kilt. And you notice you haven't seen him since. I'm guessing he didn't get to Africa. I'm just guessing. Hey, baby, there's a stock they're saying that we should buy at $2. There's a stock they say that we should buy at $2. NXXT. They say BlackRock looking at it right now. They say BlackRock could probably push it to $5, so we make $3 per stock.
What is NXXT?
I have no fucking clue. I'm about to look it up. But if it's something fire, I might buy it. I might get 50. And we just keep it. Say less. See? That gets you a helpmate. I don't mind y'all calling Trump that word. Just please disguise the R word, please. Because YouTube be looking and sometimes they don't give me back my chat. Please use the word grape or drape. Wait, what? Damn, that music loud. Get some black woman.
Yes, because you have literal blades on your feet and you're skating around inexperienced children.
I like how her caption said skin, so she know. So even her TikTok knows she's a racist.
Yes, because you have literal blades on your feet and you're skating around inexperienced children. I've honestly never been to a ice rink that was open to the public, like for.
So you're assuming that this is a free rink. One. Number two. I'm looking at this picture right here. This looks like it's international. I'm just saying. Number three, the mom and her kid are clearly smiling at this. So is this woman. This woman looks interested. Her kid looks like she wants to go home. And you're pissed because she could spin? Continue.
Free skate that did allow you to do like tricks or spins or anything like that. Because even though you could know exactly what you were doing, it does take away your spatial awareness. There's rinks that are way more crowded than even that one. And
yes, those ones that are crowded are usually where everybody goes. And you usually have to pay for those. And I've seen people on those rinks, especially the one at Rockefeller Center. I've seen them do tricks. Nobody said a word. Okay.
anytime you put a blade up in the air, there is a risk of injury. I'm also sure that you need.
I think if people see you doing a trick, they kind of don't go near you. Continue, ma'am.
That because every time I've been ice skating, that has been like a posted rule. I'm not saying for sure this ice rink had that rule. I'm just saying.
So why are you bringing this up?
I've never seen it not be. Usually if you want to do like tricks or spins or jumps, there are specific blocks of time that you come with other people who can also do those things. And I know a lot of people are going to say it's not that big of a deal, and that's okay. I just don't like painting workers as the bad guys because they're literally doing their job by enforcing the rules that you are breaking.
Once again, who teaches the white supremacists?
Yes, because you have literal blades on your.
Anyway. Damn, how far has Matt washed up fallen? Boy, it's crazy. China doesn't do H-1Bs and their technology is beating us. I wonder if that's true. Oh. 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 It took me 10 seconds. You see what I mean when I say MAGA stupid? I'm just going to hate today. It's Thursday. I'm just going to hate. That took me 10 seconds again to find. 10 seconds. But Kevin Sorbo is supposed to be used as an authority on America. But anyway, fam. Let's see what else.
After the government shutdown has ended, where Republicans and Democrats came together to get something done on that front. But the reason I'm making this video is my former boss, Senator Rand Paul, saw something in some of the final legislation that would
I like how he has Japanese wrestling in the background. I like it.
Criminalize the hemp industry. Now, let me explain what that means. We decide what you do with hemp, different hemp laws in different states at the state level. That's what we do in the U.S. these days. And it's a giant industry. I think it affects well over 20 states to the tune of about $30 billion annually. We're talking about a lot of money, a lot of jobs, a lot of farmers, big industry. Well, Rand Paul saw legislation in the final draft or whatever they came up with. I'm no expert. I'm just talking about this at a base level because that's why I wanted to make this video, because that's how silly and goofy and stupid some of this is. What he found is that the hemp industry...
And you know what's funny about this hemp industry as well? Didn't Kamami and Trump offer black men the chance to go into these dispensaries and get money into the weed industry, get our foot in the door? So essentially, if we'd have voted for either one of them, this was going to be the end result anyway. Big Alcohol was going to come outside and say, nah, we good on this, because you're going to be taking away. We're already struggling because people can't afford our product. Plus, the Bud Light ban didn't help us as a whole. And imports on alcohol are getting scarce because of the tariffs. But weed somehow was still making money. So black man or black woman or couple or team would have sunk all their money into opening these dispensaries just so they could get shafted later. Interesting. Continue.
Because of this massive bill that would reopen the government, buried in it, it would recriminalize hemp. So all these people who've had legitimate businesses that have nothing to do with people getting high and smoking marijuana, the THC levels in this stuff is nowhere near that. We're talking about something different, so it's a different debate for a different time. But this stuff's used to make rope and industrial products and different things. CBD might be related. I take CBD when I get on an airplane anymore because I'm getting older and I get scared of heights. So, and it's legal in most places. It helps people. But the hemp industry would be decimated if just Republicans and Democrats threw into the government reopening bill a reason to recriminalize. It used to be criminal, then it wasn't, now they want to do it again into this bill. Well, the bill passed, and the reason I'm making this video, because I'm kind of pissed off about it, you saw people last night, I guess that would have been Monday night, you saw people who were mad at Rand Paul, oh, he's the single vote that's holding up this reopening the government, which was not true. The scheduling was the same. He just wanted to remove the language. But you saw the lie repeated over and over again. You saw it coming from Democrats. You saw it coming from Republicans. What you also saw coming from some Republican-friendly voices was this idea that, oh, Rand Paul, the libertarian, wants to protect the right of stoners to get stoned, and that's why he's holding up the government reopening, when that's what wasn't happening at all. You saw Fox News' Laura Ingraham saying something goofy like that when she knows better. She's not a stupid person. But that's what she was saying. You saw a Texas politician, other Republicans I noticed, saying that, oh, the libertarian Rand Paul, he's a pot guy, and that's what this was about. No, he's a Kentucky representative, and hemp is a big industry in his state.
AKA, he's screwing the farmers again. Republicans do not like farmers for some reason. And so do the Democrats. I don't know what. One of them must have got bad lettuce in their salad in the Congress mess hall, I guess. And it's just been on site ever since.
And you saw some of his constituents who that's their business saying, thank you, Senator Paul, for doing this and representing me, which is what I elected you to do. That's what elected representatives are supposed to do. And also, I would say to my Republican friends and conservatives, we used to have bills that the Democrats wanted passed, Obamacare, different things. You gotta pass it so we can see what's in it. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi famously said about the Affordable Care Act. And all conservatives, all Republicans were like, this is foolish. You gotta know what's in the bill before you vote on it. Well, Rand Paul saw something that anybody who cares about business and free markets and capitalism in this country would have a concern about. It's a big business in the United States, lots of jobs attached to hemp, obviously, products that we use, and just a big industry that's going to really hurt people if all of a sudden, for reasons other than goofy, uninformed people saying, oh, it's about wacky tobacco and Rand Paul's a libertarian, if that's the basis of recriminalizing this wonderful industry that does so much good for so many people, what are we even doing? How are Republicans any better than Democrats were with Obamacare and, well, we got to pass it to see what's in there, as Pelosi said. I thought this was absolutely ridiculous. It was absolutely clear that the hero in this thing, who was getting bullied and ganged up on, was Senator Rand Paul. He was the real constitutionalist in this, certainly the fiscal conservative and all the other things that he took an oath to do when he took a pledge to the Constitution. But he was the good guy, and the people criticizing him, whether you're Democrats or Republicans, and especially Republicans who should know better, they were the bad guys. We'll see where this goes from here. I hope a bunch of people in the hemp industry in this country don't get hurt financially and otherwise. We'll see what happens. I know Senator Rand Paul will be fighting for them, as he did with this, and he will in the future, because he's one of the good guys. And the people who are jumping on him about this and other things, but particularly this about hemp, they are the bad guys, and I don't care which party they're in.
All right. Well, there's that. So we're going to end off with that. So hopefully you learned something. If you did, it done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. I will see y'all when I see y'all. Got some videos coming for you between this weekend and next week. And, yeah, we'll see you next week, I guess. Live. Unless something pops off. But anyway, y'all. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence. And don't forget, and you can tell your friends, Trump is a socialist.